Hello. Okay. Let me shut my volume. Hi. So, how are you? How's everybody? So today, yesterday was Wednesday, and I didn't read from the Gerald Clark anthology like I have planned for every Wednesday. Yesterday I was too excited about getting my copy of When Rain Clouds Gather in Maru. If you missed it, please check out the previous post, which is on IGTV. How are you? Hello. Hi. So I made the decision to read from these three anthologies every Wednesday. Last week I read from volume 2, so there's 3 volumes. I read from the As You Like It, which is volume 2. So yesterday, because of my excitement, I didn't read. But yeah, this is what I'm reading from today. I've chosen a story. Where is it now? Hold on. Now that I'm holding all 3, I'm mixing everything up. This Hell of a Body. It's on volume 3. Yeah. Okay. Let me page 2, the content. That's the last story actually. So this Hell of a Body is written by Eugene Yakubu. So let me tell you a bit about the Gerald Clark anthology. Hi Jane. This was created in honor of the late activist Gerald Clark and his extraordinary legacy of supporting human rights. And this award, the Gerald Clark Award, advances his contribution to building a world that is safe and welcoming to all. The unique award calls for multi-layered, brave and stirring African voices that represent a new wave of fresh storytelling. But yeah, so it can be poetry, fiction, non-fiction, photography, journalism, and this is actually in conjunction with the Jacana Literary Foundation and the Other Foundation. So if you might be watching this and you're interested and you are a writer or a photographer or a poet or a journalist, you can actually submit. I think they have what is it? Is it a submissions time? You can just check the website, the Jacana website for that, and then you can submit. But yeah, like I said, this is a thing that I do every Wednesday. So I read from 3 of them. Well, from either one of them. Because there's short stories, there's poetry in here, there is photography, amazing photography. Actually, the covers are from the submissions. So yes. So if I read from volume 3 this week, I will read from another volume next week. But yeah. Today I'm reading from Eugene Yakubu. His story is the last one on volume 3. I'm going to read a bit about Eugene and then I'll start reading. Eugene Yakubu is a writer, storyteller and ardent reader. He has published short stories and reviews in various websites and magazines. He has a flair for out of the ordinary stories and has a style of subverting fixed categories in his art. He is a graduate of English literature from Ahmadu Bello University in Nigeria. He spends his time reading, breathing, and looking at nature. And that is, I don't know if you can see that. That's a picture of him. These entries are actually edited by Sisonke Msimang. So in each volume, she actually does the introduction. Yeah. Next week, I'll probably read another one of these, the ones that won, because last week I read from the winner of volume 2. So if you missed it, you can check out the videos on IGTV, which I'll also be uploading onto YouTube soon. So please subscribe to the Bookamoso YouTube channel. Okay, so this is This Hell of a Body by Eugene Yakubu. I would like to write down what happened in Father Joseph's rectory and how he looked at me condescendingly the September I turned 8 or maybe 9, but I'm not sure if it really did happen, or what he meant by contorting his face in an expression of horrific aversion. Father Joseph was a holy man, but that look on his face, I don't even know what name to put to it, but I know it was filled with distaste and disdain. His raised upper lip touched his lower one in a sneer, and he looked at me the way he looks at a scavenger or a beggar. You see, I happen to be one of those people who don't neatly fit as either man or woman, boy or girl. I am neither here nor there. Mom and I were here to beg the priest for admission into the school, but we were unsuccessful. Father Joseph, the holy man, declined to accept me for reasons I can't say and am not supposed to know. He had hardened his face like it was all our fault, this hell of a body, this embarrassment of a body, this gender beast, this man, woman, or woman, man. Too much to contain, and I was just 8 or maybe 9. For a few weeks after he turned us away, Mom could not look at me. She avoided my searching eyes. I was learning that life hurts. But though it hurt, I was able to draw on earlier hurts than that. This is how I have been surviving. This is how we all survive. Hi, Tumelo. We learn to accept that life hurts. We default to the oldest scars and dab our tears, pretending we've seen worse. But even the slightest hurt is agonizing for a child. I was a child who walked by and felt eyes staring at him and quiet voices whispering behind him. At the age of 9, in that hallway when that priest turned me away, I learned how cruelly the world treats boys like me. It was the same day I came out to my new street. The neighborhood was hemmed in by neatly tended lawns and sweet-scented flowers on both sides. Wearing a new pink t-shirt on a knicker too short to expose my thighs, I approached the little field where a group of kids my age were playing. They met each evening to play hide and seek, and finally, after gathering my strength, I joined them in the field. Mom was tired. I trailed her everywhere she went, and it was exhausting for both of us. Within minutes, a boy named Abu gestured violently at me. "Look, he's wearing girls' clothes. Faggot," he said, his face wearing a mocking grin. The other kids laughed with him and started chanting and jeering. I was ashen with fear and flushed with embarrassment. I could hear my heartbeat, and the tears in my eyes were one blink away from dropping. I wanted to disappear. "I knew she was a boy," said one of them. He poked his scrawny neck in the air in the most condescending manner. No, he is a boy girl, laughed someone else. The wry rejoinder sent the crowd shuddering in laughter. Everyone hates a sissy, even the creepiest kid in town. A sissy is the lowliest of all aberrations, and I just happened to be one. It was sort of a congenital thing. It's not like I spoke to God before he formed me. I had to leave and flee the scene. It was the safest thing to do. But leaving is not always enough. They set chase surrounding me, a cruel escort. It was the longest walk. I couldn't turn to face them. I couldn't stop and fight. I just had to walk. Like I had already done some many times before, I felt as though I had to walk away from myself. The unruly procession set out with me, crying and them screaming. I walked ahead while my attendants lagged closely behind. A derisive chorus squealing, "Boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl." I led them along the squiggly path to my house until every last bigot of them dropped their frantic bidding to drag my body to the mud and disappeared, leaving behind their hate in my heart. After that, the world was never safe. Children are so mean. Mom was sitting at the veranda busy with her knitting and waiting for my arrival. She stood up when she saw me. "How did it go?" she asked. I told her. It went everything but good. Mom was furious and heartbroken after I recounted the day's events. She explained to me what a sissy was. In fact, she defined all their cruel words. She told me a fag was a boy who liked boys. "That's not even me," I retorted. "How could I even think about liking a boy?" What I didn't say to her was that I had never really liked anyone, that I only loved her. So how could I know if I liked this or that? "They called me boy girl too," I stuttered between sobs. Until this point, I had never thought about the fact that a man and a man could ever be sexual. I was a child and my gender identity had nothing to do with sex. It was just who I was. But thanks to them, I had new ideas in my mind. Thanks to them. Since time immemorial, people like me had trod the world and died quietly without crowds trying to lynch them or society telling them they were alien. The Aboriginal, two-spirited women, the Native American Badache, the Hijras of India, the Khotois of Thailand. And yet now, within recent memory, the world had decided to judge. That night, I stood in front of the mirror, a disquiet curiosity about my body overwhelming and draining me of all hope. The room was quiet, a house with no children. I could feel the stillness of the night in my soul, taste it in my tongue. It was the beginning of hate. The feeling clogged my heart. Every pore in my body was filled with it. The tears dropped. The sweat gleamed on my face and streamed its way down my body, down all the way down to my groin. I followed with my fingers, feeling every step and hill like a blind man in a cave. I felt my way through my sparse pubic hair and felt my shriveled penis, small as a button, lying cold and limp. Then I moved on, touched the sack hanging beneath and felt the abnormal lump beneath the balls threatening to bulge into a curious penial vaginal melange. God knows I would love to escape my body. Maybe this is what my questions are about. These questions of which or who is whole. the right fluids in the wrong places, the right organs to the wrong purpose, the right feelings for the wrong things. These infantile trepidations and little sadisms, they are all ways of plodding out of this hell of a body. I would like to just swim out, slip out of me, fall like a word out of my own mouth and disappear into nothing, into oblivion. When I'm not sure, I type the word in Google to call up the dictionary, which has the recording of the pronunciation. Yes, I also do the same thing. Hi, everybody. Your face wears your sentiments over what you are reading. It's cute. Tumelo. Hello, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to continue reading. Oh, I don't even have my watch on. Okay, it's still early. Please forgive my twin too. She's moody, or she's probably sleepy, and we don't allow her to sleep after 5. So just bear with me and her and the tears and the crying downstairs. Okay, this is part. Okay, the chapters are broken into A, B, C, D, E. So I'm on E now. Mom thought we should seek help. Help? I asked. Hello, Bridget. Okay, hold on. Maybe before I continue reading, I'm going to just show you the cover of what I'm reading. The Heart of the Matter. The anthology is a celebration, or it's in honor of Gerald Kruk. And his extraordinary legacy of supporting human rights. The 3 volumes, I'm reading from volume 3. Okay. Mom thought we should seek help. Help? I asked. She wanted us to talk to a pastor or a shrink or even a medical doctor. I couldn't bring myself to. I had thoughts of lying still and naked under some stethoscope while doctors poke their noses in my organs. But who would have known me better than myself? What other person is in me that I have never met? What Mom doesn't know is that there is no medicine for this sickness. How could medical science cure desire? How could psychology cure biology? And prayers? Prayers have never worked. If they had, the world wouldn't have been so full of intolerant and ruthless Puritans. And God wouldn't fail in his creation, would he? If God had made me in his or her likeness, then how could I be a mistake? But Mom needed answers, and she needed to be seen to be doing something. So I went from prudish priests trying to cast the demons out of my body to patronizing shrinks, asking if I ever felt suicidal, to self-absorbed doctors inspecting my body like it was some artwork, poking their gloved fingers into my most personal orifices. The other day, the shrink was talking about psychotherapy. He said our body is predetermined by some interior essence. He said the body is an independent pointer to identity. He said the fact that I had a penis, no matter how atrophied it may seem, makes me a boy. But my body is in total contrast to my sex. He spoke with an indescribable air of one well schooled in his profession. I scoffed in contempt, knowing he will never understand the tales of my fluid bodies, of genderless bodies, and of mutating identities. He will never know that I am the air that comes in through his window. He, she, you can call me anything, but just so you know, a rose by any name will still smell the same. With puberty came strange changes. My voice had this hoarse rumble. There were pimples and then breasts, and still the feeling of my little penis dangling between my legs and ejecting seminal fluids with no spermatozoa from time to time. This hell of a body. It was giving me stymied breasts. I have to learn to live with these surprises, making their strange presence felt on my chest. I got the antidote to my body, and it is in my peculiarity, my fluidity, and my non-essentialism. The Butlerian notion of performativity of gender roles allows the body to constitute itself individually outside of biology. Gender is a free-floating social construction. It can be subverted and inverted, and it is also construable. Hence, a boy with breasts isn't any odder than a woman wearing trousers. A butch femme who feels in every way a man is just as normal as a man who wears pink shirts and lipstick. There are all roles society labels either masculine or feminine. There is nothing natural, nothing preordained. Thus, the body is a mesh of possibilities. Masculine girls, feminine boys, intersex folks, transsexual people, dykes and cissexuals. And you don't have to stick a label on yourself. You could be any and everything. I'm just going to don them all and choose what works for me. What about you? We see the doctor. He prescribed testosterones and tells me I have to keep taking them until I feel man enough to stop. But I don't want to swallow pills and inject yourself. So I say fuck the drugs and the world. Sorry, I just wanted to read that first sentence because I didn't. But I don't want to swallow pills and inject yourself. So I say fuck the world, the drugs and the world. Instead, I chose to love myself for who I really am. I decide to learn my peculiarity and accept it. I realize that no one is ever going to accept me if I don't accept myself. I embrace the fact that I'm as normal as the rainbow in the blue sky. I am a high-rise building in the double face of January. I am God. I am sick, sore, and tired of apologizing for living in my soul, and so I stop. I begin to fit and where I don't fit. Oh, okay, I think there's an I missing there. I begin to fit in where I don't fit. I stop wearing little soles on big shoes. I begin to breathe. I claim my space. I am the third sex, the missing link. I am the other sex you've never heard of, the one that is yet to proclaim its name on birth certificates and in schools. I stop letting people who don't know their ass from their elbow play down my peculiarity like it is some evil stigmata. I claim my space by proclaiming that we don't need new names. No, we don't. We also don't want new pronouns that can never do anything to describe our rare bodies. Unless you are one of us, you will never know what it means to sit lonely on the fence. And so I reject the heteronormative favors, the new words and the contorted ways of saying things without saying them. All I ever asked for was to breathe and be as human as God made me. I have no other body but this one, and it is truly one hell of a body. I like these. The reason why I chose these books was because I wanted to learn and unlearn. And that is the whole reason why we read, honestly, to learn as much as we possibly can. and it is Pride Month, so I'm actually quite happy that I'm reading from this anthology. And I actually bookmarked my next read for next week, which is We Are Queer, We Are Here by Chibue Obi. So I'm actually quite happy that I'll be going through this, through the book readings. But yeah, this has been today's read of the Gerald Kruk anthology. Hi Bongani, hi everybody that came through afterwards. I have just finished reading and I've got like 3 minutes to spare. But yes, let me tell you a bit about this is the third one. Okay, let me read the back of the third one. So these stories capture the essence of the African LGBTQI plus community and showcase some of Africa's most talented writers. The anthology gives a voice to those who would otherwise be marginalized, and it insists that differences must be recognized, embraced, and celebrated. And Sisonke Msimang says, the heart of the matter gets precisely to the core of ensuring that our great-grandchildren will find traces of us that reflect the magnificence and ordinariness of who we are today. These stories are a nod to the small, ordinary loves and the little moments and the tiny victories that make life big and beautiful and survivable. So she is the editor of all three. Yes, yeah. So this has been today's read of the Gerald Kruk anthology. But next week I will be reading from one of this on Wednesday. Yesterday was just I was just too excited. But yes, guys, thank you so much. I've read volume 1 and I highly recommend it. Oh, okay. So Bongani has read volume 1, which is this one, the one with my favorite cover, which is Pride and Prejudice. And this one, let me read to you what Sisonke Msimang, the editor-in-chief and head judge, said about this first one. This anthology walks the line between all that is dissident and everything that is normative. The stories in this collection zigzag between a desire for justice and a refusal to be merely tolerated. In these pages, you will find storylines that are achingly familiar, which play with tropes and mine them for truth. You will also find characters that come from the future, whose tenacity resists categorization, even as it reflects a resilience we have always demonstrated. This collection reflects the political moment across this continent, a moment that is defined by space and freedom, even as these continue to be constrained. In other words, this is a queer collection. Yes. The title seems to be in opposition. This hell of a body, Jane. That's what I felt like at the end of it. Because now, this hell of a body, he was the character, not he, but the main the writer was now being like, he was celebrating the body that they in. So yeah. Okay, let me see. Thank you guys for joining. I'll see you tomorrow. These are actually available on Loot and everywhere actually, because I got mine, this one I got at Love Books, I think last year for their birthday sale, and these two are bought at Jacana Media during their sale, but they are available, all three of them, on Loot. So you can get them there. Guys, please If you have missed the reading for today, go on to IGTV. It will be loaded up, and I will be loading up all the videos on my brand new YouTube channel. Yes, starting from tomorrow. Love you guys. Bye. See you tomorrow at 5. Today's Thursday. Yes, Thursday. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Thanks. Bye. See you on the Cheeky Natives tonight at 6 o'clock. Sharp. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Miss Weiner.